We have other gigantic world news, which is OPEC. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. OPEC Plus has agreed to deep oil production cuts, the Biden administration calling it short-sighted. They are, on Wednesday, they decided to curb supply in what Reuters here describes as an already tight market, causing one of the biggest clashes with the West, as the U.S. administration called it a surprise decision, short-sighted. OPEC's de facto leader, Saudi Arabia, said the cut of 2 million barrels per day, equal to 2% of global supply, was necessary to respond to rising interest rates in the West and a weaker global economy. The kingdom rebuffed criticism that they were colluding with Russia, which is included in that OPEC Plus group, to drive prices higher, and said the West was often driven by, quote, wealth arrogance when criticizing the group. There are some, technicalities in here that basically they say, well, it won't really be fully 2 million barrels per day because we were already underproducing, but there is no doubt that this is a gigantic cut. That it is very, very, very likely to drive up oil prices. In fact, it already has, and that it is likely to hit your gas prices at the pump as well. The estimate we have here from a guy who's an analyst for GasBuddy, let's go ahead and put this up on the screen, is that it will likely increase U.S. gas prices by 15 to 30 cents per gallon. So that is a significant hike just from the doings of basically this one nation, Saudi Arabia. I think it's clear that there are three things going on here. Number one, they're looking out for their own financial interests. They want oil prices at $100 a barrel because they want the money.
They like the money.
Number two, I think they do want to help Russia be able to avoid those price caps and be able to continue earning revenue that allows them to float their war effort. And number three, they hate the Biden administration, and higher gas prices are terrible for him in terms of the midterm. So, you want to talk about election interference. Forget about Russian Facebook memes. This is some direct foreign election interference in our midterm elections coming up here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true. It just really is humiliating for Biden on two levels. One, he went to Riyadh to go kiss MBS's ass, and MBS was still like, nah, dude, that's not going to happen. They called at Riyadh, apparently, the Secretary of State, the highest levels of the administration. They were like, do not do this, publicly asking them not to do it. What's even more of a betrayal is not only the Saudis, is the UAE, who also depends on us for a tremendous amount of weapons, economic aid, supposedly great friends and allies. And they were like, yeah, we're going with the Saudis and the Russians on this one. Number one is greed, but two, they don't listen to us. There's no other way to describe it as just a completely one-sided relationship. We give them security and hundreds of billions of dollars in weapons, and then they do whatever they want. Whatever they want. They clearly do not think, rightfully, that the Biden administration will do anything to them. And I don't think that they're really all that incorrect. Really, I don't think we can overstate this. Beyond impact here, which is, yeah, like we said, 15, 30 cents a gallon. I'm not going to diminish that. That's terrible. That's actually high, and that also leaves us one refinery shock away from $5 gas again in this country. So don't estimate that. In fact, let's take a look. So national gas price right now is $3.86 a gallon. California is at $6.40, but apparently it's going to go down. Spot futures there looking like it'll normalize around $5. The point being, though, which is that if gas across the country goes up by 30 cents, congratulations, the entire country's over 4 again, which I don't think is a win at all. And, it leaves you one supply shock away, one hurricane away from having $5 gas, maybe even $6, $7 gas in California. Put that on the line. The other thing is that, put this on the screen, which is that OPEC just dealt a serious blow, Krystal, to the EU plan to try and put a cap on Russian oil. Now, we talked about why that cap is pretty much dumb in the first place, wasn't really going to do anything. But by reducing the supply, the EU price cap, which was on Thursday, actually right today, is supposed to get voted on, the final package that the entire bloc could agree to. That price cap no longer makes any sense whenever you're going to cut production back even more. And the price cap will be out of step even more so with the market price than it already was. And if they do go ahead with it, the Russians will be like, okay, we're just not going to sell you all that much. and you're just gonna make the Chinese and the Indians who are still buying at a market discount, but still paying a tremendous amount of money, they're gonna get an even better deal on Russian oil than ever before.
Well, I mean, so the price cap thing was always a little bit difficult to imagine that it was gonna work out anyway. And now this makes it so much less likely. You really need China and India to go along with it in order for it to actually really work out. And now that looks like it's not going to happen.
Right.
It makes it much, much, much less likely that India and China are going to subject themselves to that. So yeah, I mean, OPEC blew up the price cap idea. They are blowing up Biden's midterm chances. They are enriching themselves and just completely thumbing their nose at the Biden administration. And, not to do a victory dance here, but we've been saying all along that this was a foolish way for the Biden administration to try to deal with Saudi Arabia. And, clearly that has ultimately borne out. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.